In this lecture, we are going to deal with data types in Python. Some of the data types are numbers, strings, list, set, tuple, and dictionary. About number data type in Python. Python support integers, floating point numbers, and complex numbers. They are defined as int, float, and complex classes in Python. Integers and floating points are separated by the presence or absence of a decimal point. For instance, 5 is an integer, whereas 5.0 is a floating point number. Complex numbers are written in the form of x plus yj, where x is the real part and y is the imaginary part. We can use the type function to know which class a variable or a value belongs to, and instance functions to check if it belongs to a particular class. Let's look at the example. Let's take a variable a equal to 5 and we can print type of a if it shows that it's an integer type. Let's type that 5.0 or printing the type of a 5.0 definitely shows that float. And come to the point of a complex number. C is equal to 5 plus 3j. So we are going to print type of C and it shows that's a complex type. We can also use the is instance functions to check whether C is a complex number. For that purpose, we are using print is instance. We are giving the variable name and checking whether it is a complex number or not. Definitely it's true. While integers can be of any length, a floating point number is accurate only up to the 15 decimal points. The 16th place is an inaccurate. The numbers we deal with every day are of decimal or base 10 number system, but computer programmers, generally embedded programmers, need to work with binary or base 2 and hexadecimal base 16 and octal base 8 number system. In Python, we can represent these numbers by appropriately placing a prefix before that number. The following table, or we can illustrate like this. So I'm going to give that value print 0b110111, where 0b is 0b is 0b is used to represent the binary number system. Let's see another example. I'm going to adding two numbers 251 and 2 in hexadecimal representations. That's why we are using 0x as the prefix over here, and let confront that, and the answer is 253. And one more example, and I'm going to print in an octal. For that purpose, we are using 0 or before that 15. Actually, the output become what? 13. We can convert one type of a number into another. This is also known as coercion. Operations like addition, subtraction coerce integer to float implicitly or automatically if one of the operation is float. Let's see an example. So already seen that 1 plus 2.0 or 2.0 become 3.0. We can see above that 1 is an integer is coerced with 1.0 is converted into float for addition, and the result is also a floating point number, and it becomes 3.0. We can also use the built-in functions like int, float, and complex to convert between these types explicitly. These functions can even convert from strings. Let's see an examples. I want to integer convert into integer from a float value 2.3, and it's converted into 2. If the case here, sorry, integer of minus 2.8 become minus 2, and converting float of 5, it becomes 5.0, and I want to convert complex number, and here I'm going to convert a string into a complex number, and it becomes 3 plus 5j. When converting from float to integer, the numbers gets truncated. That means the decimal parts are removed. Let's see another example. I'm going to adding 1.1 plus 2.2 and checking whether equal to 3.3 is false. What is going on? It turns out that the floating point numbers are implemented in computer hardware as binary fractions, as the computer only understands the binary, that means 0 or 1. Due to these reasons, most of the decimal fractions we know cannot be accurately stored in our computer. Let's take an example. We cannot represent the fraction 1 by 3 as a decimal number. This will give what 0.333 in infinite long way, and we can only approximate it. It turns out that the decimal fractions 0.1 will result in an infinitely long binary fractions of 0.0011001100110011 like that, and our computer only stored a finite number of it. This will only approximate 0.1 but never be equal. Hence, it is the limitation of our computer hardware and not an error in Python. So let's see an example. 1.1 plus 2.2 become 3.30000, and this approximately 3. To overcome this issue, we can use the decimal module. We will discuss about modules in later sessions, and that comes in Python, while floating point numbers have precision up to 15 decimal places, and decimal module has user settable precision. Let's see the difference. Now I am going to importing a decimal. That means a module to be included in our program, we have to use a keyword called import. And now I'm going to print 0.1, become 0.1. Now I'm going to print decimal of 0.1. It becomes like this. This module is used when we want to carry out the decimal calculations as we learned in schools. It also preserves the significance. We know that 25.50 kg is more accurate than 25.55 kg, as it has two significant decimal places compared to 1. So let's see another example, and this is another way to include the module in our program. That from the decimal, I need to import the decimal, and it is named as D. Now instead of a decimal, I can use D. So the print D of 1.1 and adding with the 2.2, so it becomes 3.3 instead of 3.3000003. So let's discuss about next data type, that is called as string. A string is a sequence of characters. A character is a symbol. For example, the English language has 26 characters. The computers do not deal with the characters. They deal with numbers or binary. Even even though you may see the characters on your screen, internally it is stored and manipulated as a combination of 0 and 1s. This conversion of character to a number is called as encoding, and the reverse process is called as decoding. ASCII and Unicode are some of the popular encoding used. In Python, a string is a sequence of Unicode characters. Unicode was introduced to include every character in all languages and bring uniformly in coding. So let's see how can we create a string in Python. String can be created by enclosing the characters inside a single quote or double quotes. Even triple quotes can be used in Python, but generally used to represent the multi-line strings and doc strings. So I'm going to declare a variable called my string, which is equal to hello. You can see here we are using a single quotes to declare the string, and this print hello. In the same way, we can declare the strings in with a double quotes. Become hello, and also we can use the triple quotes. Again, it's hello. Normally, the triple quotes can be extended to multiple lines like this. You can see that the string is in a multiple lines. Next question may arise: how to access the characters in a string? We can access individual characters using indexing and range of characters using slicing. Index starts from 0. Trying to access a character out of the index range will raise an index error. The index must be an integer. We cannot use a floats or other types. This will result into type error. The Python allows negative indexing for its sequence. The index of -1 refers to the last item, -2 is the second last item, and so on. We can access a range of items in a string by using the slicing operator, that is colon. So let's see an example. I'm going to declare a variable str for a string programs or mercy. See that print statements like the string is set with a string called emrc. If I want to access the first character, I need to give only str0. You can see that it is E. Instead of accessing the first character, if I want to access the last character, I need to give only the negative index. And I can use a slicing second to the fifth character. You can see MMRC. This is from second to fifth. Now we are going to slicing from 5 to, you can see that answer is like this. If you try to access an index out of the range or use numbers other than integer, we will get an error. So already we mentioned that. Suppose already we mentioned my string is like this. See what will happen. Going to so my string contains the fifth character. Instead, you can give str50. So it's string out of range, and also say str that range one. Also, the string indices must be an integer, not a floating number. Strings are immutable. This means that elements of a string cannot be changed once they have been assigned. We can simply reassign the different strings to the same name. So str of 5 equal to a definitely stores gives a type error. The object does not support the item assignment. Instead, we can give like this. Okay. Definitely this will print the value. Come to the point of Python string operations. There are many operations that can be performed with the string, which makes it one of the most used data types in Python. First one is concatenation. Concatenation means joining of two or more strings into a single one, and it's called as concatenation. For that purpose, we are using plus operator in Python. So, and also the star operator can be used to repeat the strings for a given number of times. Let's discuss with an example. So I'm going to declare first variable str1 is equal to hello, and the next variable is str2 with a string called val. I need to concatenate with two strings using the plus operator. You can see that the str1 and str2 equal to str1 plus str2. Definitely we got the answer as hello world. Instead, if I am going to use a star operator, you can see it's repeated 3 times because I am using 3 over here. This is another way of representation of, yes, I'm going to give in a multi-line representation. Now it is concatenated with the hello world. Come to the point of Python string formatting. For the purpose, we are using an escape sequence. If you want to print a text like he said, what is there? We can neither using a single quotes or a double quotes. This will be result as syntax error, as the text itself contains the both single and double quotes. You can see here it's a double quotes and there is a single quotes and it's ended with a double quotes. So let's see what will happen if I'm going to print it. It's invalid string. One way to get around this problem is to use a triple quotes. Alternatively, we can use an escape sequence. An escape sequence starts with a backslash and is interpreted differently. If we use a single quote to represent a string, all the strings single quotes inside the string must be escaped. Similar is the case of the double quotes. Here is how can be done to represent the above text. I'm going to use here is a triple quotes, and there is no error. And the same thing can be expressed with an escape key. You can see I'm using backslash over here. There. And I can give escaping key for double quotes. So also works well. We can discuss in some more example. You see, print. I'm going using double backslash. What will be the result? And it points to a single backslash. And next one, you can see that it's a backslash with a new line. Definitely it will be printed in a another line. That means this is printed in the first line, and in two lines is printed in a second line. Similarly, here I'm using backslash x 48. That means the character with the hexadecimal value. This 48 and 44 and 58 is in a hexadecimal representation. Definitely this is a hex representation. That means this is corresponding for H, and this is corresponding for E, and this is corresponding for X in hexadecimal. Some of the common Python string methods. There are numerous methods available with the string objects. The format methods that are mentioned in previous lecture is one of the common method, and some of the commonly used methods are lower function and upper method, join methods, split, find, and replace, etc. Here is a complete example. So going to convert this string into a lowercase using lowercase function. Forgot to give that string. It's and a string that is converted into lowercase. The same thing can be converted into uppercase. Becomes like this. And if I want to split a string using a split function, so I am tokenize that end strings. Similarly, we can use a join function to join each strings together like this. And also we can find a string, a substring in a string like this. You can see that it is within the x7. Also I can replace the one word can be replaced with another one like this using a replace function. Now we are going to discuss about the next data type called list. How to create a list? In Python programming, a list is created by placing all the items or the elements inside a square bracket separate with the commas. It can have any number of items and they may be of different types like integer, float and string, etc. So that's the main difference between array and list. So I'm going to declare an empty list like this. Also I can create a list with respect to integers 1, 2 and 3. You can see output becomes 1, 2, 3. And also I can create a list with the mixed data types like this. First in value is a integer and second one is a string and next one is a float. Now you can see like this. So a list can also have another list as an as an item. This is called as nested list. So you can see a nested like this. You can see a list within which contains a string and it also contains another list of integers 846 and another list of a single character called a. Next question, how to access the elements from a list? There are various ways in which we can access the elements of a list. First one is a list index. We can use an index operator to access an item in a list. It starts from 0. So a list have 5 elements. We will have an index start from 0 to 4. Trying to access the index other than this will raise an index error and the index must be an integer. We cannot use a float or another types. This will result a type error. Nested lists are accessed using nested indexing. So we can explain with an example. So I'm going to create a list of strings row like this, and if I want to access the first index value, that means it's a pre, and I'm going to give head becomes O. You can see this in O, and now I'm going to explain with the nested index. You can see that it's a string and also a list consists of integers. Now I'm going to check the value from a nested list using a nested indexing like this. Means its value is a. That means I'm going to access the first element of the element and second element of that first element. That means in the case of the string, you can see that a is the second element. Also, you see access the string like this. Now it become an error because I'm going to access index which is not available here. So the list index must be an integer. So I'm going to use it as a floating point. Same way an index list out of range. Python allows negative indexing for its sequence. The index -1 refers with the last item and -2 with the second last item and so on. So this was like this. Is going to access the last item We can slice the list in Python using the colon operator. So I'm going to same list. To we want to access 3rd to 5th, it will like this. And also elements beginning to the 4th one, empty one. Next question, how to change or add elements in list. These are mutable, meaning that their elements can be changed unlike string or a tuple. We can use an assignment operator equal to change an item or a range of items. So let's see an example. I'm going to declare or so it's not an even number. So even 0, I'm going to change that even 0 becomes so print. You can see that 2 is changed with the 10. Also I can change range of value a list to 4 equal to another list 12, 14, 16. Yes, the value is changed. We can add one item to a list using an append function, append method, or add several items using an extend method. So let's discuss with the odd. The list consists of integer value 135. I need to append one more integer and it becomes like this. We can use an append function. Later we need to print that odd list and the result becomes 1, 3, 5 and 7. And also I can use an extend functions 9, 11, 13. Now I'm going to print this. It become 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. We can use a plus operator to combining two lists. This is also called as concatenation, and also the star operator repeats a list for a given number of times. Same thing can be illustrated like this, or this consists of 1, 3, 5. I am going to concatenate with another list 9, 7, 5. Then the entire list can be see like this 1, 3, 5, 9, 7, 5. And also repeat array with 3 times array. Furthermore, we can insert one item at a desired location by using an insert method, or insert multiple items by squeezing it into a simple empty slice of a list. Let's see. I'm going to declare the list 19. Need to insert a value. See result from 139 because 3 is added in the first position. The index is starting from 0, 1, 2 like that. Also, if like this, the answer is 1379. How to delete or remove elements from a list? We can delete one or more items from a list using a keyword called del. It can even delete a list entirely. So I'm going to create a list like this. So problem, I need to delete one item, becomes like this, and now I'm going to print this. You can see that O is deleted, and if I want to delete the multiple items using arrange functions, print that list, you can see 1 to 5 is deleted, and if I want to delete the entire list using the del functions, and I'm going to try to print the list, and this is not defined. We can use remove method to remove the given item, or pop method to remove an item at a given index. The pop method removes and returns the last item if index is not provided. This helps us to implement list as a stacks, first in last out data structure. We can also use the clear method to MDA method. So let's see the example. I'm going to declare a list like this, and I want to copy from this list. Now you can see that P is deleted, and also you can use a pop function from the first position. So let's see the O is popped out, and also in the entire list, see that O is popped out. The rest of one is RBLEM. And again, is pop out. And also, there is a clear function. This object has not. Next, I'm going to explain set in Python. A set is an unordered collection of items. Every element is unique. That means no duplicates and must be an immutable, which cannot be changed. However, the set itself is a mutable. We can add or remove items from it. Sets can be used to perform mathematical set operations like union, intersection, symmetric difference, etc. So how can we create a set in a Python? A set is created by placing all items or an elements inside a curly braces separated by a comma. or using a built-in function called set. It can have any number of items, and they may have be of different types: integer, float, tuple, string, etc. But a set cannot have a mutable element like list, set, or a dictionary as an element. So let me explain using an example. So I'm going to create a set like this. I'm going to print that set. Definitely it's a set 1 2 3. Also I can use a mixed data types like that. Can use a float, string, and integer. Let's see the output. So if I'm going to declare a set like this 1 2 3 4 3 2, that means it's not been permitted to duplicates in a set. That means in my declaration there are two threes and two twos, and it is avoided and displayed only the unique elements 1 2 3 4. If I'm going to it like this, then we can create a set with 1 2 3. That means we can use a either curly braces like this or a set function like this. How to change a set in Python? Sets are mutable, but since they are unnoded, indexing have no meaning. We cannot access or change an element of a set using indexing or slicing. Set does not support it. We can add single element using an add method, and multiple elements can be using an update method. The update method can take tuples, lists, strings, or other sets as the argument. In all classes, the duplicates are avoided. So let's example with the statements like this. My set is set 1 3. You can see this is a 1 3. I'm going to try to access using an index method. It shows an error. Said object does not support indexing. If you want to add to this set, can use an add function like this. Definitely 2 is added with the previous set 1 3. So now the set becomes 1 2 3. And also I can add multiple elements using the same using that update method. So it becomes 1 2 3 4. And also I use the update method with respect to a list as well as a set like this. So it becomes what? I said 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's come to the point of how to remove elements from a set. A particular item can be removed from a set using the method discard and remove. The only difference between the two is that while using a discard method, if the item does not exist in the set, it remains unchanged. But remove will raise an error such conditions. So let's illustrate with an example like this. I'm going to initialize my set as 1 3 4 5 6. I'm going to use the discard method to discard 4, and we can see that set becomes 1 3 5 and 6. I'm going to use the remove method over here, and again the result is what 135 because 6 is present over here. Now I am going to discard 2 from this set. We know that 2 is not being presented in the set, and it will unchanged, while in case of the remove method it shows an error. Similarly, we can remove and return an item using a pop method. Set being an unordered, there is no way to determining which item will be popped. It is completely arbitrary. We can also remove all items from a set using clear method. I'm going to declare the new set like this. It's a hello world. You can see. Okay. I'm going to pop out this list. See that E is this. Now E is popped out. I want to clear it is. Sets can be used to carry out mathematical set operations like union, intersection, difference, and symmetric difference. We can do this with the operators or methods. Let's consider the following examples. The two sets like this. I'm going to declare a set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then as a variable A, and now B becomes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Going to consider the set union. The union of A and B is a set of all elements from both sets. Union is performed using a pipe symbol. The same can be accomplished using a method union. So using the pipe method, let's say like this. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And instead, we can use what? A union B, because here we are using union method. What will happen instead of A union B, B union A, it also results the same result. Come to the point of set intersection. Intersection of A and B is a set of elements that are common in both sets. Intersection is performed using AND operator. Same can be accomplished using method called intersection. So again we are going to declare two sets like this, and I'm going to use AND operator for the intersection. You can see that 4 and 5 is the intersected element. Also, we can use an intersection method like this. Again, with the same result. If we are going to change the B intersection with A, also gives the same result. Come to the point of set difference. Difference of A and B means A minus B is a set of elements that are only in A but not in B. Similarly, B minus A is a set of elements of B not in A. Difference is performed using minus operator. The same can be accomplished using the difference functions. So let's explain with the example like this. We declare the two sets like this. First one, we're going to use that subtraction method or the subtraction symbol. You can see this one is available in A and not in B. So I'm going to use the function difference we again is the same result, but I'm going to give like this, then another result, but it will be same if you're going to use a big different sign. And now come to the point of set symmetric difference. Symmetric difference A and B is a set of elements in both A and B except those that are common in both. Symmetric difference is performed using caret symbol, and same can be accomplished using the method symmetric difference. So let's explain with the same example. Caret symbol becomes like this. Same thing can be used like this, symmetric difference function, and also it can be used like this. Now we are going to discuss about the Python flow controls. So let's explain with the if-else statement. What is if-else statement in Python? Decision making is required when we want to execute a code only if a certain condition is satisfied. The if else statement is used in Python for decision making. So the syntax of if condition is like this: if the test expression colon and put a indentation for the statements. Here the program evaluates the test expression and will execute the statements only if the text expression is true. If the text expression is false, the statement is not being executed. In Python, the body of the if statement is indicated by the indentation. So you can see that here is an indentation. Body starts with the indentations, and first unindented line marks an end. The Python interprets non-zero values as true, none, and zero as interpreted as false. So we can explain with an example. So I'm going to declare a variable called num, which has a value called num3. If num greater than 0, a colon, I need to print num question number, else I need to print. I did not give the else over here, and other than that, this is always printed. And we're going to declare num is equal to -1, and if number is greater than 0, like so 3 is a positive number, and this is always printed, because if it is fails also this is always printed. And here num is declared as 1, it is not been greater than 0, so this is also always printed over here. The above example, num greater than 0 is the test expression. The body of if is executed only if the evaluates to true. When the variable num is equal to 3, the test expression is true and the statements inside the body if are executed. If the variable num is equal to -1, the test expression is false and the statements inside the body of if are skipped. So the print statements falls outside of the if block, hence executed regardless of the test expressions. Now come to the point of if else. If else can, this is an expression corresponding for that if else. If test expression, body of the if else, you have to put the colon over here and must be evaluated. So it can be expressed using the example. Again, I am going to give numbers 3 and if name is greater than or equal to since print is a positive or 0, else this is a negative one. Let's say it's a positive value. What will happen if I'm going to change it's -5? It's a negative number. What will happen is a 0. It's a positive or a 0. Come to the point of Python if, elif, else statement. So the syntax of if, elif, else is like this. If test expression, the elif is a short name of else if. It allows us to check for the multiple expressions. If the condition of the if is false, it checks for the condition of the next elif block and so on. If all the conditions are false, the body of the else is executed. Only one block among the several if, elif, else blocks is executed according to the conditions. The if blocks can have only one else block, but it can have multiple elif blocks. So let's go to the example. Going to declare as 3.4. If num is greater than 0, it's a positive number. Elif again is going to check whether it is 0, and if it is 0, then it will be printed 0, else it's printed negative. So let's see that value. It's a positive number. And what will happen if it is 0? 0 and 4.5 is a negative. So Python provides nested if statements. We can have if, elif, else statements inside another if, elif, else statement. This is called as nesting in computer program. Any number of these statements can be nested inside one another. Indentation is the only one way to figure out the level of the nesting. They can get confusing, so they must be avoided unless necessary. So we can see an example. I'm going to give that value num isn't put in a float, converting in a float number value, and check whether it is greater than or equal to 0. And if it is 0, you can see it's 0, else it's a positive number, otherwise it's a negative number. So if I go to declare, this is a positive number.